Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to go on a pretty amazing journey inside one of the most incredible engines ever designed, the human heart. So think of this as your own exclusive architectural tour of a machine that works for you nonstop every single second of your life. All right, to kick things off, let me ask you a question, just to give you a sense of scale here. Take a wild guess. On an average day, how many times does your heart actually beat? What do you think? Maybe 50,000 times? Get this. The answer is, on average, a staggering 100,000 times every single day. An engine that has to do that much work has to be brilliantly designed, right? And that's exactly why its architecture is so fascinating to explore. So let's start our tour and see exactly how this incredible piece of engineering is put together. Any great architectural tour has to start from the outside. So first up, let's take a look at where the heart is and how it's protected from everything else. So your heart is sitting right there in the center of your chest, just tilted a little bit to the left. And it's roughly the size of your own fist. Now, any important structure needs protection, and the heart has its own built-in security system, a tough, fluid-filled sac called the pericardium. You can think of it like a protective outer wall, cushioning the engine so it doesn't create friction while it's working so hard. Okay, let's move inside. Beyond that protective wall, the heart is cleverly divided into four separate rooms, or chambers, and each one has a very, very specific job. The two chambers on top are called the atria. These are like the receiving rooms, where blood first comes into the heart. And then below them, you've got the two lower chambers, the ventricles. These are the serious power pumping rooms, and they're responsible for pushing blood out of the heart with some major force. Now, what's really cool is that the two sides of this building have totally different jobs. The right side, that's basically the receiving dock. It's where all the deoxygenated blood, the blood that's tired from its trip around the body, shows up to get a fresh supply of oxygen. The left side, on the other hand, deals with the good stuff, the freshly oxygenated blood that just came back from the lungs. Its whole job is to send this revitalized, oxygen-rich blood out to the rest of the body to power, well, everything you do. And this brings us to a really key design feature. The left ventricle, well, it's the true powerhouse of the heart. Think about it. Its job is to pump blood to your entire body, from your brain all the way down to your toes. So naturally, its muscular wall has to be the thickest and strongest of all the chambers. Okay, so we've got rooms for receiving blood and rooms for pumping it out. But how does the heart manage all that traffic? Well, that brings us to the gates and hallways that control the flow. This is a huge design challenge. With all this pumping and squeezing going on, how does the heart make absolutely certain that blood only moves forward and never, ever flows backward? The solution is just brilliant. 4 perfect one-way gates. These are the heart's valves. They swing open to let blood pass through into the next chamber or artery, and then they snap shut to make sure none of it goes back the way it came. And the genius is all in their placement. Each one of these 4 valves sits right at the exit of a chamber, and it acts like a perfect bouncer at a club door. They open up to let the blood out and then slam shut to make sure there are no party crashers coming back in. This flawless timing is what keeps traffic moving in exactly the right direction, with every single beat. And where does all that traffic go? It exits through 2 massive vessels, the aorta and the pulmonary artery. Just think of these as the main superhighways leading out of the city, carrying huge amounts of blood away from the heart and out to their destinations. So we've seen the rooms, we've seen the gates, and we've seen the highways. Now for the final stop on our tour, let's put this all together and see how this incredible design works as one seamless system. The power for everything we've been talking about comes from one thing, the myocardium. This is the heart muscle itself. If the heart is an engine, the myocardium is the engine block. It's that strong, tireless tissue that contracts and relaxes to create every single heartbeat. So let's just trace one drop of blood on its little journey. It comes into the right atrium, gets pumped by the right ventricle over to the lungs to grab some oxygen. Then, this fresh, oxygen-rich blood zips back to the left atrium. And finally, bam, the powerhouse left ventricle pumps it out to the entire body. It's just a perfect, continuous loop. And that brings us right back to where we started. That whole elegant 4-step journey, it happens in less than a second. And it repeats flawlessly over 100,000 times a day. When you really stop and think about that, the design is just, it's incredible. So, after seeing this incredible piece of architecture, it kind of leaves us with one final thought. This powerful engine is designed to work for a lifetime, nonstop. The real question then isn't just how it works, but knowing how it's built. How do we take care of it? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this tour.